So on to our next speaker. Next up, we've not got Gary Hunt. We've got Invest in Cornwall. Abby, Sophie and Kelly, is that right? So Invest in Cornwall support innovative, forward-thinking businesses in a range of industries across Cornwall. They also encourage startups to come into Cornwall, but definitely do not give startup support for people in Cornwall. Is this right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be able to explain much better than me. So I'll hand it straight home. Thing I love about Apple. It's not Apple that's going wrong, it's Microsoft. Ooh. I cannot find the button to start. Just click. Hey.
Cool. Okay. Thank you very much. Cool. Okay, so hi, I'm Abby and I'm one of the inward investment consultants at Invest in Cornwall. I'm just going to spend the next few minutes talking to you about Invest in Cornwall. I don't know how many of you know about Invest in Cornwall, so just thought it would be worth talking to you a little bit about the project, a little bit about us and the service that we deliver, and then we've got Sophie and Kelly that are going to talk to you about the branding and the marketing, and potentially where you guys here in the room can get involved in the project. So just to give you a little bit of background, we're an EU and Cornwall Council funded project. We're all about driving inward investment into Cornwall, ultimately improving Cornwall, improving the economic prosperity, and it's really important to note that we are incredibly passionate. The majority of the team are Cornish or passionate about Cornwall, so yeah, we're really passionate to make this project a success and to make Cornwall a better place for all. So we support businesses looking to move into the region, so whether they're nationally based or internationally based. There is an eligibility criteria, which is set, an EU eligibility criteria, so that's businesses that are under 250 employees or that have a turnover of less than 50 million euros. This is a list of our focus sectors. We're not limited to those, but we do have sector specialists that cover all of those. And there's our team there. So just to give you a little idea about the kind of level of service that we provide, it's very much bespoke, so depending on the business need, it really comes down to three kind of core things though. So firstly, premises. Obviously we're very well networked within the region, so likes of innovation centres, collaborative workspaces. We have a guy in our team that will do regular property searches. We've got some really good relationships with local estate agents as well, so we'll really try and get the best properties for our investors. Secondly is around people, so helping with recruitment, helping business access the talent down here. Again, we've got good links with the universities, organisations such as Unlocking Potential we'll put businesses in touch with. And then finally, funding and finance, which is probably the first question that any business tends to have when they come here. Probably a tricky one, but it's one that we're trying to come up with a good answer for. We've got, again, some good, we're well networked in that department as well, the likes of Big Two, Swig, and also trying to build up our private investment networks as well. And then most importantly, I think, you know, we don't want to see these businesses getting here and then helping them to establish and then just going again. So yeah, we want to see them settle in really well into Cornwall and create those high value jobs. So a core part of our work is aftercare and just ensuring that the businesses are growing as well as they should be, and they're accessing the right support. So just looking at a case study, there's a business called Campaign. They're an interior design business, but probably not interior design as you know it. They have a platform as well, which is kind of merging offline and online retail. And they were someone that came to us, and they didn't really, funnily enough, they had a house in Falmouth, but they were actually running a business of 10, a successful business of 10 in London, and they chose Falmouth purely for a lifestyle. And it wasn't until we really met them that it started kind of opening their eyes into thinking, actually, why are we actually working in London when, you know, we've got Falmouth University on our doorstep, there's a really thriving tech cluster here, so they're a really successful case study for us, and they've actually moved to TIC, they've just taken on their third new employee, and that's a high value job as well. So yes, that's quite exciting to see a business such as that. And then finally, I just thought it'd be useful, these are quotes from clients that I've helped personally, and it's just, I think it provides a kind of good indication of why businesses are tending to make the move, and there's just no doubt about it that lifestyle is just coming out on top all the time. I think we were quite conscious that we didn't want to just sell Cornwall as this place that you can have a fantastic lifestyle, but any business that I've dealt with to date has said, it's all about the lifestyle, the employee happiness, and then therefore employee retention. So that's a little bit about our service. I think I'm going to hand over to Sophie, who's going to talk about the Brand Ambassador Programme.
Hi everyone, so yeah, my name's Sophie, I'm half of the marketing team at Invest in Cornwall, so I'm the brand consultant, and what that means ultimately is my role is I'm responsible for ensuring that our marketing and our communications kind of reinforce Cornwall as a really creative, innovative place to do business. So what do I do on a day-to-day? So my role is, half of it is kind of developing our digital presence, so looking after our social media channels. We're active on Twitter and Instagram, so if you don't follow us, our handles are at the end of the slide deck, so make sure you'll follow us. And the other half is our Brand Ambassador Programme, which is what I'm going to tell you a little bit about. So we believe that Cornwall has a fantastic offering, and it's a lot more than just a holiday location. It's got an amazing creative community, it's got fantastic connectivity, and there's amazing resources here, but unfortunately there's a real kind of perception that Cornwall is just somewhere that you go on holiday and it's not a viable place to do business. So a massive part of our rebranding process has been to kind of identify the values that Cornwall has and bring that out in terms of our marketing and our communications activity, and develop a tone of voice and a set of key messaging that kind of really encapsulate what we want to push out as what Cornwall is for businesses. So it's all very well us saying all of these things, but without kind of having those anecdotal experiences that you can get from real businesses, it's kind of just another voice in a really kind of overcrowded room. So that's why we developed our Brand Ambassador Programme. So Marcus is one of our ambassadors, who's in the back. So our Brand Ambassador Programme is, there had been previous iterations of it in the House project, but we kind of felt that it wasn't delivering real value for us or for the business. So we kind of stripped it back and thought, okay, how can we genuinely add value, not only to reinforcing what we want to say about Cornwall, but also for the business. So how we've done that is we kind of go through a process of thinking, okay, so we want businesses that are innovative, creative, forward-thinking, identifying those businesses, reaching out to them and saying, would you be interested in talking to us? So then a part of my role is I go and talk to businesses, I interview them, I hear their story, and then I write that up into content, which then I share on our media channels, so social media channels, so they get added exposure. And then our lovely photography that you can see, our photographer Sally Mitchell, she comes and takes photos of them, and then they get those as assets as well. So it's kind of a win-win situation, and Kelly will tell you a little bit more about how we also engage in terms of event attendance. So finally, here is just a quick snapshot of some of the ambassadors that we have interviewed to date. What brings them all together, again, is just what we think Cornwall is all about. They're all tech-focused, they're all creative, they're all innovative, and they're all really entrepreneurial people with really interesting and different stories to tell. But ultimately, they are all massive advocates of being in Cornwall, and not only just being here, but conducting a really successful, thriving business. So, yeah, that's it really in a nutshell.
I just have to go, so sorry. You may or may not be wondering why on earth we're telling you this about what we're doing, but as a team, I think we all think it's really important to let you know how we're talking about our region and how we're trying to get that inward investment into the county. So, as Sophie and Abby have said, we are predominantly focused on inward investment, so working with businesses from outside of Cornwall, could be UK, Europe or further beyond, to attract them into Cornwall so that we grow our economy, grow our job creation, to make the region more prosperous for our generations and future generations. This is very text heavy, I appreciate, but just a snapshot of basically our statement, our positioning statement for the region, to say that we are gunning to get as many next generation businesses into Cornwall as possible to do what we've just explained in terms of growing the economy. And as it says there, we recognise the fact that Cornwall isn't for everyone and everyone. Not everybody is appreciative, like all of us are, of the beautiful scenery that we've got, but also the thriving technology cluster that we've got happening. Some people don't like being based miles away from London, whereas the rest of us know that it's only an hour flight, or we can hop in the car and drive there. And they're the sorts of businesses that we're trying to attract. As Sophie briefly mentioned, we attend events, so the events might be national or international. And just be aware that these are extremely targeted events. So we spend a lot of time researching them, we spend a lot of time finding out who's going to attend them and who will be speaking at them, so that we can make targeted approaches to businesses there and also build our network across the world, basically, so that we always know who we can call on to strengthen our offer and also aim to attract businesses from certain areas. I've put Health Tech Cornwall up here purely because it's we're obviously all in a technology-based sector, but in terms of health technology, Cornwall is really driving the way and really establishing itself as one of the leaders in health technology on a global basis. So we're working really hard with other organisations throughout Cornwall to try and strengthen that even further. This is just a brief snapshot of our branding, and how we've gone about it is working with a economic-based branding agency. So they'll look at any business or organisation that is going to have an economic impact and work out how it will be positioned. So firstly, any sort of communication that we use within the UK is using the Cornish flag, but then we worked alongside the agency to figure that probably most recognisable would be the Great Britain flag if we're working outside of the UK. And then below that is our 6 sectors that we're currently representing. And we've had a bit of mixed feedback in terms of the imagery and graphics used, but just be aware that it's all interchangeable. So if anybody's got an opinion on it, we're more than willing to listen and have a fiddle about with the images. This is just, Alex is in the background, by the way, and this is Alex featured here. Another person that we're working with, and another great example of a business and person and community of people really driving creativity in Cornwall and just gathering our community, building momentum to help us really put Cornwall on the map for the right reasons. And again, just to reiterate that our team is hugely passionate about Cornwall, hugely passionate about what we're doing, and we're more than open and welcome to your feedback, and we'd love to have further discussions with you if you have any opinions on how we're achieving that, or if you'd like to get involved. And then lastly, just to cover, we obviously all know that we've got a great community here, that staff retention is generally higher than the national average, that our workforce is generally happier than a national picture. But to allow us to quantify this, we will be commissioning a sizable piece of research which will go into great depth into businesses in Cornwall and the ecosystem in general, to allow us to have some stats, figures and opinions on really driving Cornwall forward as a great place to drive technology-based businesses, as well as support a thriving creative community that will stay with businesses for a lot longer. And if you want to provide any support, then feel free to look us up on our website or our social media channels, or just have a conversation with us, because we'd love to have you on board in spreading the word. Thank you.